We hear the word entrepreneurship thrown around constantly. It's everywhere, from stories about tech billionaires to the person who just opened a new coffee shop on the corner. But what does it actually mean? Is it some kind of special talent you're born with, or is it something anyone can learn? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise and get to the real answer. So, when I say the word entrepreneur, what's the first image that pops into your head? Is it some lone genius tinkering in a garage about to change the world? Or maybe a high stakes gambler betting everything they have on one wild idea? Look, these are powerful images, for sure, but they're often more fiction than fact. So, let's get down to it and separate the myth from the method. All right, so to really get what entrepreneurship is, we first have to talk about what it isn't. We're going to kick things off by busting some of the biggest myths out there. The stories that make this whole thing seem kind of intimidating, or maybe even impossible for most of us. I'm guessing a few of these sound pretty familiar, right? The idea of an entrepreneur gene, that single eureka moment, the all or nothing bet against the odds, and of course, the overnight success story we see in the headlines. But the truth is, these are just stories. The reality is actually way more accessible and, honestly, a whole lot more interesting. So if it's not about being a born genius or a wild risk taker, then what is it? Let's build a real definition from the ground up. At its core, entrepreneurship is a process, and it's built on 4 key elements. Okay, so here's a solid working definition. I know, it sounds a little academic, but stick with me. The key word here is process. It's not a single event. It's not a personality type. It's a process of finding opportunities, pulling together the right resources, and innovating to create real value, all while navigating uncertainty. So let's break that down, piece by piece. First up, opportunity. This is the absolute starting point. It's all about spotting a problem that needs solving, a gap in the market, or a need that isn't being met. It's about seeing a chance to make something better for a group of people, whether that's in business or just in society. Second, we've got innovation. And this is so important. Innovation doesn't always mean inventing a time machine. It can be a brand new technology, absolutely, but it can also be a new business model, a smarter process, or even just a clever way of combining old ideas in a completely new way. Third, and this one is totally non-negotiable, is value creation. An idea is just an idea until it makes a real, tangible difference for someone else. This is the ultimate test, right? Is your thing making a customer's life easier or more fun? Are you solving a real problem for a community? That's value. And finally, number 4, risk and resource commitment. You've got to put some skin in the game. That means your time, your money, your reputation. But, and this is a big but, notice it's not about extreme risk. Smart entrepreneurship is all about managing that risk, making calculated bets when you don't have all the answers. Oh, this is such a great way to clear things up. We tend to lump all these terms together, but they're actually pretty different. An entrepreneur, they're laser-focused on growth and innovation. A small business owner, who is incredibly important, by the way, is often more focused on stability, using a business model that's already proven. And then you've got the intrapreneur, the person acting like an entrepreneur, but inside a big company. 3 totally distinct roles, all creating value. It's also really important to get this. Entrepreneurship is not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. It really exists on this wide spectrum, and it's driven by all sorts of different ambitions and goals. So you have ventures that are driven by pure cutting-edge innovation. Think about a new biotech company or an AI platform. Super high risk, but also super high potential. But then you have imitative ventures, and these take a proven idea, like a great coffee shop, and they just apply it to a new neighborhood or a new audience. Both are absolutely valid forms of entrepreneurship, and both can create a ton of value. And what the founder wants out of it totally shapes the business too. Is the main goal to support a certain lifestyle you love? That's a lifestyle venture. Is it to scale as fast as humanly possible and take over a huge market? That's a growth-oriented venture. Or is the primary mission to solve a social or environmental problem? Well, that's a social venture. Your why really dictates the how. So why do we talk about this so much? I mean, why does it matter? Because entrepreneurship isn't just another career path. It's actually a fundamental engine for our economy and for society as a whole. The economist Joseph Schumpeter came up with this brilliant term for it, creative destruction. It's this idea that new ideas and new companies come in and they completely disrupt the old way of doing things. Just think about how streaming completely blew up the video rental industry. Now, that disruption can be tough, for sure, but it is the engine of progress. And if you need proof, just look at the data. That bar on the left, that's new and young companies. It absolutely dwarfs the net number of jobs created by big, established firms. While the big guys hire and sometimes lay off, it's the startups that are consistently creating the brand new jobs that grow the economy. That is a massive impact. Okay, so if it's not magic, what does this path actually look like? Well, the great news is that it's a process. It's a series of steps that you can actually learn, manage, and get better at over time. And this is basically the roadmap. See? It all starts with that little spark, spotting the opportunity. From there, you shape that spark into a solid concept, and then you test it with real data to see, hey, is this actually going to work? Then comes the hard part of pulling together the resources, the team, the money. Only then do you launch. And here's the key. Launching isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun for a feedback loop, where you learn if you should scale up or pivot and try something new. It's a constant cycle of learning. So look, if you take just one thing away from all of this, let it be this right here. Entrepreneurship is not some mysterious gift that only a few special people have. It is a discipline. It is a set of skills, a way of thinking that anyone can learn, practice, and improve. So, we've busted the myths and we've walked through the actual process. We've seen that entrepreneurship isn't magic, it's a method for creating value in the world. The framework is pretty clear. So the only question left is the one right there on your screen.